Right. Now, this is the last thing that you need to know about vectors. So vectors is quite a short topic, yeah? So I'm going to give you everything you need to know today, and then the second hour, because we've still got another hour to go, we'll have a go at some practice of this. So the last thing that you need to be aware of is this thing called a dot product, okay? Now, let's think about what we've done so far, okay? With the first set of questions I gave you, are you happy that you can deal with something like this? So if I give you two vectors, u and v, okay? And let's actually suppose that u is like u1, u2, u3, okay? So in other words, they're just three numbers which go there. u1 is the first number, u2 is the second number, u3 is the third number. Is that okay? Right? And then v, again, is just going to be v1, v2, v3. Is that okay? So just simply three-dimensional vectors where all of these numbers here are just numbers, okay? Are you happy with how to do u plus v? So can you add two vectors together? Yeah, we did that, right? You just simply add corresponding components together, okay? Can you do u minus v? Yeah, you just simply subtract those two vectors together. Can you do funky things like multiplying u by some number? Sure. Yeah, absolutely, we've done that. Have we looked at yet multiplying u and v together?
What's the difference? It's going to be the same thing as plus and minus.
Kind of, okay? So far we haven't looked at multiplying two things together. Now, in actual fact, we don't look at dividing vectors together because it doesn't really have any meaning geometrically, okay? So let's look at this idea. Now, in actual fact, multiplying vectors is a little bit tricky, okay? We need to be a little bit careful with how we multiply them. Because, to be honest with you, there's two ways that you can multiply them. The way which we're going to look at in this course is using something called the dot or the scalar product. Okay, now what does product mean?
Something like multiply.
Exactly. Yeah, good. So a product just seems multiply, okay? Dot, well, we call it the dot product because we literally write the two vectors with a dot in the middle, okay? You might see sometimes I write, for example, x times y, okay? Sometimes I write my multiplication as a dot, yeah? So it's literally following that same idea, that I can use a dot to multiply vectors together, okay? It's called the scalar product because the answer results in a scalar. Just remind me, what's a scalar?
The answer.
Well, what's the difference between a scalar and a vector? A scalar is just simply a number, okay? So 3, 7, 8, negative a million, they're all numbers, they're all scalars, okay? So in other words, when you do the scalar or the dot product, the answer results in a number, okay? Now, just for information, there is another way of multiplying vectors together, and it's called the cross or the vector product. Okay, now we don't look at it in this course, I just want to make you aware of it, that there are two ways of multiplying it together, okay? It's called the cross product because we write the product with a cross instead of a dot, okay? It's also called the vector product because the answer results in a
Vector.
in a vector. Yeah? So it's called the scalar product because the answer results in a number. It's called the vector product because the answer results in a vector. Now, the good news is you don't have to worry about this one, okay? You only have to worry about this one. This is the only one we look at in this course, okay? But I just wanted to make you aware there is another way of multiplying vectors together in case people in the other group start talking about it, okay? Right, so how on earth do we actually multiply these things together using the dot product? Well, if I've told you that u is just three numbers and v is just three numbers, the dot product is nice and simple. You just simply multiply corresponding elements together. So the first element of the first vector gets multiplied with the first element of the second vector. So u1 times v1, okay? And then the second elements get multiplied together. So u2 times v2. And then, anybody got any guesses? Third element's multiplied together, okay? This is the only tricky bit. Just need to add all those things together, okay? That's the dot product. That's it. Okay? So let me give you an example to have a go at. Okay? Let's suppose that I give you two vectors. A is equal to 3, 7, 3, and b is equal to 8 to negative 5. Could you find me the scalar or the dot product of those two things? So could you find me a dot b?
Wait, so the result in 3 numbers?
Sorry?
The result is 3 numbers.
It's just a single number. Because you multiply those things together, it's a number. Multiply those things together, it's a number. Multiply those things together, it's a number.
Yeah.
Add 3 numbers together, it's still a number. Okay? What did you get? 23. Okay. So literally just multiply first elements together, 3 times 8. Second elements together, 7 times 2. Third elements together, 3 times negative 5. And then just add them all together. So that's going to be 24. That's going to be 14. That's going to be take away 15. So you get negative 1, so that's 23. Happy? Any questions? Scalar product, difficult?